There's a specific kind of frustration that only small creators understand. It's not anger, it's not jealousy. It's the quiet moment where you wonder if you're just talking to yourself. You post something you actually meant, something honest, something you didn't rush. You check back later and it's still sitting there. No signal, no feedback, no proof anyone felt it. And the thought you don't say out loud is, maybe I'm just not meant for this. Most people never admit that part. They just carry it. Why the usual explanation falls short. We're told small creators feel invisible because they're small, because they're early, because they haven't earned attention yet. That explanation is comforting. It lets you stay hopeful, but it's not the full truth. Here's the part that took me the longest to accept. Small creators don't struggle because they're small. They struggle because they're unclear. And I don't mean unclear technically. I mean unclear humanly. The real life parallel. Think about real life for a second. Have you ever met someone who seemed genuine, interesting even, but afterward you couldn't quite explain who they were or what they stood for? Nothing was wrong with them. Your brain just didn't know where to place them yet. So they faded. Not intentionally, just naturally. That's invisibility. How YouTube actually sees you. When you upload a video, YouTube isn't judging you. It's trying to recognize a pattern. It's asking simple questions. Who is this for? What kind of person feels understood by this? When should this show up again? If every upload answers those questions differently, the system doesn't reject you, it hesitates. And hesitation feels brutal when you're the one putting yourself out there. Because from your side, it feels personal. It feels like being ignored after finally speaking honestly. Why effort alone doesn't fix it. This is why effort doesn't solve invisibility. You can post consistently, you can improve your editing, you can try harder, but if the identity of the channel keeps shifting, nothing sticks enough to be recognized. Here's the uncomfortable part most people don't say. A lot of small creators feel invisible because they're still experimenting in public without realizing it. They're searching. And the algorithm can feel that uncertainty, not as punishment, as confusion. And confusion always looks like silence, where most creators accidentally sabotage themselves. This is where people sabotage themselves without meaning to. They post something that finally feels close, then immediately pivot. New topic, new tone, new direction. Because staying still feels risky, because repeating yourself feels boring. But repetition is how clarity is built. Let me say this clearly. Clarity isn't loud, it's familiar. And familiarity, hold on, why do you even say this word? And familiarity is what gets trusted. The shift that changes everything. The moment things changed for me wasn't when I learned something new. It was when I stopped asking, how do I grow? And started asking, what am I teaching YouTube about me right now? That question removes emotion from the process. Now, every upload has a job. Not to perform, not to impress, not to prove anything. Just to reinforce something recognizable. That's what this channel is for. This is who it's for. This is how it feels to be here. Over and over again. What actually fixes invisibility? Here's what surprised me. The fix wasn't doing more. It wasn't posting faster. It wasn't changing everything. The fix was choosing one clear thing and repeating it long enough for someone else to recognize it. That's it. Most creators think clarity means restriction. It doesn't. Clarity means deciding what you're willing to repeat even when it feels boring to you. Because repetition is how meaning forms. The algorithm doesn't need you to be impressive. It needs you to be legible. And legibility comes from restraint. So instead of asking, what should I try next? Ask, what am I willing to repeat for the next 30 videos? Same core idea, same emotional lane, same type of viewer. Different angles, but the same identity. That's when something subtle happens. People start recognizing you before they even remember your name. And recognition is what gets amplified. This isn't fast, but it's stable. And stability is what most small creators are actually craving. If your channel feels invisible right now, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not behind. You're not missing a secret. You're not failing. You're just in the phase where clarity hasn't stacked yet. And that phase hurts because silence feels like judgment. But invisibility isn't rejection. It's the system saying, I'm still learning you. Your job isn't to impress it. Your job is to be legible long enough to be understood. That's when small creators stop feeling invisible. Not because they got bigger, but because they finally made sense to someone else. Hope this helped.